If you're getting ready for an international travel adventure and you're a little confused about adapters, converters, and dual voltage devices, in today's video, we're going to clarify all of that for you. Hi, it's Eunice from Theory of Simple, and I've been traveling both professionally and personally for almost 50 years, and I'm going to have you prepared for just about anything on your travel adventure. So let's get started. So today we're going to start with adapters. Adapter is, if you think about it, you're adapting a shape. That's what you're doing. So you're taking the shape of your plug. Let's say your plug is like this, and it's a US plug, but you need to adapt it to fit into possibly a European plug or an Australian plug or an Asian plug. That's what an adapter does. It changes the shape of the plug so that you can plug it in. And for many of our devices, that will work just fine. If you're doing things like charging your phone or your laptop or tablet or something like that, that will work just fine. That is just going to change the shape of the plugs. They fit and they can transfer power. In my years of travel, I have had many kinds of adapters that I have taken with me for multiple reasons. And now I have found one that is probably going to be the only one I'm going to need on my travel adventures. If you have ever struggled with slow charging when you're on your travel adventures, this one is a game changer. This is the Epica Pulse 45 watt universal travel adapter. If you need power fast, the Epica Pulse will charge your iPhone up to 60% in 30 minutes. And it's perfect for charging all of your Apple and Android devices. The advanced PI chip on this is going to allow for intelligent power allocation. And what does that mean? It means even though you have like 5 things plugged into this, it's going to know which ones are drawing the most power, which ones may not need as much power or as quickly, and it's going to help charge things faster but protect your battery at the same time. I love that it is super compact. It's like 2 inches by 2 inches by 2.5 inches. And it also is going to work in over 200 countries and regions. So no matter where you are in the world, you're going to be able to get power. And for those of you who like to cruise, this is a perfect adapter because it is RoHS CE FCC certified. So you can take them on the cruise with you. And there's also 2 10-amp fuses for extra protection. That way you know all of your devices are going to be protected. I'll leave a link for this in the video description, and it'll also be a code for 20% off. So make sure you get this and have this ready for your next travel adventure. Today's video is sponsored by Hovsco. With my recent knee injury, I have been relying on this electric scooter to get me around, to get me through some of my errands in my urban area, and it's been one of my favorite things to use this year. My main concern was having something that was safe and also comfortable. So disc brakes and a kickstand, as well as an adjustable seat, are some of my favorite things. But my most favorite thing about this is it has a folding handlebar. So I can fold it down and put it into the back of my car when I want to shop in other places. And at 41 pounds, it's light enough for me to get out of my car and ride it around. The LED display allows me to see how fast I'm going, how many miles I've ridden, and how much battery life is left, and I love that it has a headlight. The intuitive push-button operation is wonderful, and it also has a removable basket that you can change for different sizes. This scooter's been a game changer for me, so if you'd like to get one for yourself, visit the link in the video description. Of course, most everyone's going to need an adapter, and of course, if you're going to bring an appliance that's not dual voltage, you're also going to need some sort of converter. So let's talk about a converter and what that is and if you need it. You're going to convert voltage from the wall to your appliance. So for those of us who live in the United States, we have 110 coming out of the wall. You're going to hear me say 110 volts throughout the video. It's technically 120. However, I grew up where they were using the term 110. It changed in 1984. I didn't, so remember, 110 is really 120. All of our plugs are 110. But when you go to certain countries like Europe and Asia, they usually use 220 to 240. That means there's a lot more power coming out of that wall. And that if you plug in your 110 through an adapter that just changes the shape, it's probably not going to work as well, or it may burn out or something like that. So the motors in here are not necessarily dual voltage, meaning they can switch back and forth. So if you are going to carry something, for example, this is my curling iron. It has a US plug on it, and it is not dual voltage. So this particular thing will have to go through a converter in order for it to work properly and maybe not even burn out or catch fire. We don't want something 220, 240 coming out of the wall into something that's used to handling 110 volts. So that's when you need a converter. How will you know the difference between an adapter and a converter? Normally a converter comes like this. It is actually a box that actually converts the power. I'm going to be able to transfer the power from 240 and 220 on one side, come through this, and then convert it to my 110 appliance that I'm going to be using. This one also has USB-A plugs in here, so I can use it to charge iPads, computers, phones, and things like that. But I can also plug in things like my hot pot, curling irons, and things like that in here. So this is something that if you don't have a dual voltage appliance, you will need to bring this. This particular converter comes with a power cord and some adapters for different regions. So again, the adapter will allow this to plug into different wall sockets, and that's what these are for. And you can just use these as adapters if you like, and if you don't need the converter, great. It comes in a case like this that zips closed, and everything is in one case like this. So you can see it's kind of hefty, but in order to carry all those things, this is what I carry if I need to bring a converter with me on my travel adventures. So now if you're questioning, do I need an adapter or a converter? Well, the answer is you're probably always going to need an adapter. A converter, on the other hand, is something that you will only need if you're going to have an appliance, say a steamer or a blow dryer, that is not dual voltage, and it's going to be drawing quite a bit of power, because you don't want, again, something that is 110 to be able to get blown out or not work properly if you just plug it into an adapter. So if you don't have a dual voltage appliance, you'll need to take a converter with you. Now, for those of you who are wondering, well, how do I know if my appliance is dual voltage? If your appliance has a little switch on it like this, that's how you're going to know it's dual voltage. It'll say 110 and then 220, 240. So depending on where you're going, you'll switch that over. And then you can use an adapter like this because this already has a converter basically built into it. So that way you don't have to take a converter. You can just take an adapter and plug this in. Now, some of them have a switch like that. Some of them, like this travel blow dryer, it has like a little knob right here, like a little twisting thing. You might need like a little screwdriver or something to flip it over from 110 to 220. And then some of them are on the very bottom, like this little hot pot that I have right here. It has it on the bottom. I may not say dual voltage on it or anything, so just check your appliance. If you do not see anything that can change the voltage from 220, 240 to 110, it is not dual voltage, and you're going to want to bring a converter. For my travel adventures, I generally just bring an adapter like this because if I'm going to bring something that I'm going to use, I'm going to bring something dual voltage. And one of my favorite things to bring is a blow dryer. And I know a lot of people say, yeah, well, they usually have blow dryers in hotels and stuff. But if you're staying at an Airbnb or a friend's house, and I've had this happen where they don't have one, I need to get these hairs dried. So I want to have something that's powerful enough and compact enough that I can pack in my suitcase and take with me. I like this one because it's dual voltage. It folds up nice and small. It comes with a diffuser, a directional head, and it also comes with a little adapter that's good for Asia and Europe, but not for the UK and Australia, but it at least gets you some. And what I like is it all fits into this one little case, so I can take it with me, and that way I know at least I can get my hair dried and styled. So if the blow dryer I've had happen in a hotel has been broken, and they're like, oh, we'll have to have another one, and they don't send it up right away or whatever, I just know that even though this takes up a little extra room, I can get my hair dry and styled. Especially if I have longer hair, I just need to be able to get it dried and styled quickly, and this little blow dryer does the trick. Another favorite that I take is a small collapsible kettle like this. You can see as it just pops up, it is dual voltage. I like it because, if I'm traveling, I sometimes just want to have coffee in my room in the morning or tea in my room at night, and I don't want to be going out anywhere. So some places have coffee makers, but I have shown you videos where I have opened up some of those coffee makers and there was mold disgusting fungus in them because they don't really clean those things. So this way I know my water will be clean and hot and not coming through something that's got mold or some other weird thing in it. So I will take this with me on my travel adventures as well. And of course, if I'm packing carry-on only, things can get a little wrinkled on those travel adventures. So I like to bring a steamer like this that again is dual voltage and allows me to get all of the wrinkles out of things, especially if I have something nice I want to wear. This has never failed me and I love that it's dual voltage. So a nice steamer is something that I take with me on some of my travel adventures. And if you're someone who likes to iron, this is another great favorite. It's really small. As you can see here, it fits almost in the palm of my hand. It is a dual voltage iron and it's small and compact. It has a handle here so it's easy to use. It has a little pad to set it on and a carrying bag. Really compact, perfect to take on those travel adventures. But remember, cruisers, no irons and no steamers on cruises. And there's one more thing I always bring with me. It's an extension cord, because a lot of times there's just not a plug right where you need it to be, and this is going to work great. As you can see here, it works with some international plugs and it has USB-A and it has a nice long cord that wraps up, and it's a nice small format to take with me. For example, I need to be able to sit here and work, but the plug is clear over behind here. This is going to allow me to plug in several things, USB-A and also international plugs into here, so I can be powered up and not having to worry about where the plug is in the room. Some of these older hotels and Airbnbs may not have plugs right at the desk, so this is really helpful for that. If you got some great information from this video, do me a favor and share it with someone who could use this information. And if you like this video, I think you're really going to like this one. Happy travels.